marriage is एक blanket statement नहीं दे सकते कि शादी ऐसी है या शादी वैसी है. It's really just about what you make of it and the two people who are in it. And I think sometimes people go into marriage with not a very clear idea of who they're marrying sometimes. You should take a chance at having a better life, not just for yourself, but the person that you're with also, that they should have a chance at having.
Hi guys, welcome back to Momina's Mixed Plate Season 3, powered by Insignia Shoes. And a very happy new year to you all. I hope 2023 is full of prosperity, joy, and all the best of luck for Pakistan and for all of you out there. 2022 was devastating to say the least. And we're hoping that we can rebuild our nation and we can rebuild our lives in 2023. So in the studio with me, I have actress Mansha Pasha. She has not been on the show since 2019. So I'm super excited. A lot has happened in her life. She's just completed a year, a little over a year of her marriage. And I'm very excited to know how she's doing, what's been going on. Before we get started, you guys don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you can be part of the Momina's Mixed Plate family. And let's welcome on Mansha Pasha.
Hi.
Hi. What's up?
All good.
Amazing. You know, like, it's really interesting. I don't know if you remember this, but we started, MMP started in 2019. Our first episode of 2019 was with you.
हाँ अभी
and आप 2023 में भी पहला एपिसोड तुम्हारे साथ है.
लग नहीं रहा कि इतना टाइम गुजर गया. आई थिंक क्योंकि कोविड की वजह से ना 2 साल तो मुझे लगता है बीच में कहीं चले ही गए.
नहीं 2 साल तो मैंने भी शो नहीं किया तकरीबन. मैंने 2020 आई थिंक फरवरी में हमने खत्म किया था और फिर 2022 सितंबर में लॉन्च किया दोबारा.
Yeah, so it feels like time has just passed so fast.
It's passed by a frozen.
Beach ka time to freeze ho gaya.
Acha ji. So, I don't know if you guys, if you haven't watched Mansha's last episode, I'm going to link it up here so you guys can take a look at that video. But at that time, Mansha is very coyly telling me about this boy that she's, you know, liking, who's into food and likes to cook for her. Today, she's married to that boy who loves to cook for her.
Yeah.
How's the man who loves to cook?
He's great. Allah ka shukar, he still enjoys food and enjoys cooking it. But aajkal to we are both so busy that we don't get as much time. But yeah, alhamdulillah, it's all good. We are inshallah going to be celebrating our 2nd year of marriage now in very soon.
Very soon?
Yeah.
That'll be amazing. So how was the first year?
The first year was great. I mean, we've known each other for a while, but obviously, it's always challenging. Marriage is, I mean, ek hota hai na ki hamare yahan bada hai ki, you know, couple goals and everybody's like, oh, everything is always hunky-dory. It's always just two people, you know, trying to figure out how to work around each other, sharing a space together, you know, two people who have lived apart their entire lives. Obviously, they've had different lives, but alhamdulillah, he's like my best friend. So, yeah, it's great.
That's amazing. And I believe you were married before as well.
Yeah.
And you don't speak about it that much.
No,
you don't.
No.
And that was also an industry. He was from the industry.
Sort of more behind the camera than in front.
Yeah. And how do you think you've evolved? Like, and do you mind opening up about that time of your life?
I mean, I think a lot of people end up feeling that, you know, if they have one marriage and it doesn't work out, they end up feeling, you know, कि शादी ही, you know, एक वो लड्डू जो खाए और पछताए ना खाए वो पछताए वाली चीज होती है.
यही है, वो खा के पछता रहे हैं, ना खा के पछता रहे हैं, सब पछता ही रहे हैं.
नहीं, but I believe it's really about the two people who are in it. You know, marriage is एक blanket statement नहीं दे सकते कि शादी ऐसी है या शादी वैसी है. It's really just about what you make of it and the two people who are in it. And quite frankly, it's different. It's not the same. So I can't really compare.
Comparison ho hi nahi sakta because I think in that phase of your life you're a very different person and today you're a very different person. That relationship probably
the relationships are very different because the two people in it are very different. So it can't be compared.
It can't be compared.
Yeah.
But do you think that like how do you think you've evolved?
As
like,
a person?
And also because I think कि हमारी society के अंदर अभी भी, I mean, even though now in our society, it's in the mass not so much, but in our society people have the courage to walk out. Like women have more stability and surety like to take that step to walk out and be okay with it. I do want you to talk a little bit about what was that time like for you, that trauma of actually going through a divorce? Because it's not easy, regardless of whether it's a short-term marriage or long-term marriage. It is आपकी सोसाइटी में हम एक पैराडाइम शिफ्ट ला रहे हैं ना. Our previous generations weren't so वो compromise करते करते वो जिंदगी गुजार गए. लेकिन now people are raised differently. People are have different points of view in a marriage as well. So I want you to tell me a little bit, and I think it might be a learning experience for everybody that, you know, divorce is not bad. It should not be stigmatized. No. You should walk out when and if, you know, need be.
No, I mean, it's definitely a last resort though. मतलब मैं यही कहूँगी कि it's not one of those things कि I think sometimes people go into marriage with not a very clear idea of who they're marrying sometimes, and sometimes it's के, you know, आपको external pressure इतना होता है that you feel के, you know, बस कर लेनी चाहिए, and you're not exactly looking at कि हम दोनों are we two people who are going to be able to create an entire life, because आप शादी इसीलिए करते हो quite frankly कि आप अपनी पूरी जिंदगी गुजारे. Nobody gets married to leave, you know, or to not, for it to not work out. But frankly, if that happens, because usually, you know, I got married quite young, तो हमारे यहाँ यही होता है कि हमारी पूरी personality form नहीं होती है, and we go into a situation, and because our personality is not completely formed, we are not very perceptive कि आगे का इंसान कैसा है. मेरी खुद की पर्सनालिटी भी अभी पूरी डेवलप नहीं हुई. What kind do our values match? But if that happens, that there's just pain after pain after pain, so then definitely I think that you should take a chance at having a better life, not just for yourself, but the person that you're with also, that they should have a chance at having something different in their life, something that makes them happy.
नहीं, शादी भी सोच के करनी चाहिए. I think शादी सबसे ज्यादा सोच के करनी चाहिए. Divorce तो बात की बात है. लोग सोचे बगैर शादी कर लेते हैं.
और सबसे ज्यादा जो मैं feel करती हूँ, that I feel that I have learnt is that you don't just marry a man, you marry a family. So as a, and maybe this is ये बड़ी देसी बात है कहने की,
बहुत देसी बात
है. It is the way it is, that you are leaving your house to enter somebody else's.
Of course, no, I do, and I think like to your statement कि that you're marrying the family, I think I would like to add that इसका थोड़ा narrative change करने की जरूरत है कि yes, आप अपना घर छोड़ के जा रहे हो, but it's you are the one who आपकी जिंदगी change हो रही है. जो आगे के वहाँ पे like मैं तो दरिंदे कहूँगी कि जितने in-laws खराब मैंने देख चुकी हूँ लोगों के, और जो आप स्टोरी सुन लेते हैं, they need to be the ones who have to be very flexible. You know, but you are making space, you have to make space for somebody to enter.
Not, like मुझे लगता है कि you're either that kind of person who does do that, or you're not. अगर आप उस किस्म के लोग हैं कि आप इस बात की consideration रखते हैं कि there's somebody who's leaving their house and this is a completely different person, and let's be open. I feel like both me and my husband, we've grown, because, you know, I have brought things into his life that, you know, maybe he wasn't expecting, but he was open to it. You know, the changes, like, okay, he's never had a pet in his life, now we have 2 cats. And shuru mein when
I know you and your cats. Like I remember I was doing a live session और पीछे से मंशा की बिल्लियाँ आ जा, कभी वो गोदी में आ रही हैं, कभी वो भाग रही हैं.
It initially started off when we got engaged कि घर में animals नहीं आएंगे, और अब वो ही जो है ना सुबह सुबह उठ के सबसे पहले वो उनका खाना, उनका पानी, you know.
And I really do believe कि Anna, when you get married, आप अपना independent setup रखें. Like it should be independent. You should not be like कहीं किसी जगह पे नहीं लिखा हुआ कि आपने अपने in-laws के साथ रहना है, आपने इधर रहना है, उधर रहना है. You know, I really do believe that you should have, if you can afford it.
But Momina, even if, quite frankly, because I've experienced both. I've experienced living separately and living with family. So I will say कि एक तो the guy that you marry, that really matters, what kind of person he is. That's the kind of person he is, and the kind of relationships he keeps. You know, like हमने कभी माशाल्लाह से, you know, I feel like I should touch it.
I'll do it for you.
You know, it's
अगर ना लकड़ मेरे तो सर पे मार लिया करो.
कि हमने कभी किसी से अपने मसले नहीं डिस्कस किए, घर में किसी से नहीं. मैंने कभी अपनी अम्मी के पास नहीं गई, अपनी बहन या अपनी दोस्तों के पास भी कि ओ, and this was right from the start where we got together कि ओ अच्छा ये हुआ है, अब मैं क्या करूं. Neither does he. We don't involve external people into our relationship. We try to work out the problems, and alhamdulillah we've been able to do it. कोई इतना alhamdulillah मसला भी नहीं हुआ कि हम खुद ही ना solve
कर सकें.
But because a lot of people do that, then everybody feels like we have a right to have an opinion.
No, and also really matters is कि I mean, I think कि like I mean, I'm not married, but I have a lot of friends who are married, and I see all sorts of marriages. You know, all sorts of different types of marriages, and they're not like cookie cutter. And what I kind of started to understand was that it is actually one of those relationships that you have the autonomy to design for yourself. You are not bound by a box कि ये शादी is what it should look like. It should be between two people how they now there are, I mean, like, I'm sorry, आप like whether you think it's बेहयाई या जो भी है, मैं जो बातें कहूँगी ये reality है, पाकिस्तान में exist करती हैं, agree करना आप करें, नहीं करना ना करें, है ये सही. But I mean, there are part-time marriages, there are open marriages, there are nuclear marriages, there are all sorts of marriages. You know what I mean? It's like people are designing what works for them.
Yeah.
And then there are marriages that jo like, I mean, I've seen people who got married really young, high school sweethearts, 20 years down, changed as people. Completely changed as people. So it's not like the love went away, nothing went away. Their goals are no longer aligned. So they parted ways. Yes, it's painful because there are kids involved. There is an entire family breaking apart. But like, I mean, also I remember कि जब Bill Gates and Melinda Gates were getting divorced, and people are like, how could they get divorced after this many years of marriage? I'm like, maybe their final goals in the next phase of their lives, they don't fit in anymore. And it is very likely. हो सकता है, और अगर आप space दे लोगों को to grow on their own, unless you're not growing together and you're not giving that space, you will grow apart.
Yeah. I think there's always, it's very important to have a really good friendship with your partner.
Of course.
I think even more than love. Because really at the end of the day, that's the thing that binds you. That कि आप एक दूसरे से converse कैसे कर सकते हैं. There are a lot of people who maybe, you know, his and my interests in many ways are not the same.
Yeah.
You know, he's a Punjabi boy. You know, we come from very, very different thinking processes even sometimes.
Yeah.
But we have a lot of common ground in the way that we react to life, or in the
moral
way that
compass होगा ना
moral
आपका.
compass हमारा बड़ा
moral
same है.
compass is something जो लोग I think उसको देखते ही नहीं है.
हाँ, and the fact of the matter is अगर हम दोनों साथ भी नहीं होते तो हम दोस्त तो होते ही.
हाँ.
Definitely.
Yeah.
He's somebody who I take his opinion about things, and you know I respect his opinion. So I think having that friendship is the thing that is most important, और वही I think सबसे ज़्यादा back foot पे है, क्योंकि हम बहुत logical चीज़ों को देखते हैं, and I mean I've done it. I've done it in the past, so I know that we do it, कि ओ घर कैसा है, और you know अच्छा how much does he earn, what are his prospects in life, you know, like we look at all the boxes.
Yeah.
कि ये मेरे boxes tick हो जाएं तो इसका मतलब है कि I'm making a good choice.
Yeah.
And you really leave out the fact that how do we come together?
Yeah.
You know, that वो वाली equation आप सोचते हैं हाँ वो तो हो ही जाएगा, ऐसा नहीं होता है.
I remember एक दफा some auntie sent some रिश्ता situation, okay?
अच्छा.
And biodata आया. I looked at it on paper. It was like, you know, oh, like, you know, Oxford graduate, this, that, like, you know, settled some whatever. When I met the person, could not talk. I did not last 30 minutes.
Really?
I literally looked at the time. I was like, I'm sorry, I have a flight to catch. I have to go. And I dashed.
See,
and my parents called. They're like, what happened? I was like,
on
never
paper
do
he
this
must
again.
be like,
I was like, on paper it was like, क्या नाम है कहाँ से?
ये तो बना मेरे लिए.
बना यही था. और जब वो मेरी शक्ल देखी, I की walk.
तो शक्ल पे ना किया
no,
या conversation?
When conversation zero, like nothing, like had nothing to say, and it was just like a death. And I'm like, I can talk to people, and I was like, no.
No. I think that is the most important.
It is the most important thing.
To be able to talk.
To be able to, आपने, but
because you know what, शादी वो वाली चीज़ है जिसमें sometimes you have to talk about the most difficult things.
Yeah.
And really, क्योंकि वो इतना लंबा experience है, if you're in it for the long run, आप जिंदगी में बड़े difficult चीज़ों से गुजरते हैं while you're married.
Yeah.
So you have to be able to converse with each other about these things for it to you know.
I 100% agree with you. 100% agree with you. But another thing that has been kind of popping up on social media has been a lot of scrutiny of celebrity marriages. Like either they're on the rocks or their relation. Like, I mean, like people are like, affairs are coming out, and you know, like 2022 we saw, like I think in the later half of last quarter especially, there was a lot of dhamakas of just everything was just all dirty laundry being aired on social media. What is your take on celebrity marriages? Is it, like, my question to you would be that, do you think that because these marriages and these relationships are constantly under a microscope and everyone is kind of viewing them, there's not just these two people, there's almost like 222 करोड़ की आवाम जो है, वो 22 करोड़ की आवाम, sorry, आपको देख रही है अंदर आपकी शादी के अंदर और आपके अंदर opinion दे रही है. Is that one of the reasons, or is it that the nature of your job or the nature of the profession is such that you see so much instability within the industry on this?
Actors are generally unstable because जैसे हर, and I'm not saying this like, this is not a blanket statement, obviously there are exceptions, but I think कि हमारा जो काम है वो आप it affects your mental health a lot. It's an occupational hazard. Not only because when you're acting up, you're constantly आप अपने emotions के साथ खेल रहे हो, but the scrutiny and the fact that people have, you know, so many opinions about the way you look. Like sometimes you can, आप देख रहे होते कि cameraman आपको देख के कैसे scrutinize कर रहा है, director आपको देख के आपके physical appearance को scrutinize किया जा रहा है कि oh, you know, she's not looking right or whatever, or he's not looking right. And then everything else, you know, people. So I think it does affect your mental health. That's one part of it. But I mean, generally I feel that people also sometimes maybe get married because it looks good.
No.
Actors do a lot of
90% I feel I mean, अगर ये ना होता कि आपने just on that rush to get married, if that was taken away, that almost that pressure, आपने वो pressure cooker में डालो, फट रहे हैं pressure
नहीं,
cookers.
क्योंकि लोग ही आपको कह रहे होते हैं ना, आप अगर किसी ड्रामा सीरियल में साथ होते हैं या ये वो, अल्लाह इनका कपल कितना अच्छा है, and if you're two single people, तो लोग तो बोलना शुरू हो जाते हैं, अल्लाह इतना अच्छा लगता है ये वो, फिर आप दो तस्वीर लगाते हैं, oh they look so good, they look so good, and that I think
adds to
seed, puts the seed in their mind कि oh, you know what, maybe we should get together because we look so good and because people are liking us so much. Actors in general are people pleasers in that sense, क्योंकि हम काम ही सारा दिखावे का करते हैं कि हम दिखा रहे होते हैं लोगों को what we are doing. That is the nature of our job, is to, you know, put ourselves out there. So then you kind of get carried away, I think. I mean, I don't know personally, obviously बहुत सारे और मसले होते होंगे, but I have spoken to other actors also, and I feel that a lot of us do feel that maybe it does happen for that reason, and that's one of the reasons why 1 or 2 year down the line you end up seeing such blatant and big problems, you know, like, you know, and then they're all out there. Maybe that's one of the reasons.
And I think that people just need to kind of scale back on their private lives a little bit, I guess, like just a little bit off of social media, because I just think कि
100 मुंह 100 बातें.
Exactly. क्योंकि वो ही ना कि अब किसकी अब बात सुनो और क्यों सुन रही हूँ मैं, मुझे नहीं पता, मैं क्यों
And
आपके
a lot
घर
of
के अंदर
people,
झांक
by the
रही
way,
हूँ.
end up, you know, like putting it out there very early on in their relationship. I would say, चले ठीक है, आपकी engagement हो गई, शादी होगी, उसके बाद every now and then आपने कुछ लगा दिया, that's fine. But your marriage should be your marriage. It shouldn't be your marriage on social media.
Yeah.
Or your family on social media. I think that should be, you, कहीं ना कहीं हर इंसान को अपने अंदर एक लाइन ड्रॉ करनी होती है. वो they can be different levels, you know. I could be quite private. That's what makes me comfortable. Maybe somebody is a lot more open, but they also have to draw a line somewhere. But now you see everything out there, and I think that does affect everybody.
Of course it does affect everybody, because it's almost like, you know, कि अब अगर आप मुझे अपनी सारी शादी की चीजें, like I mean, like there's some like generally like social media relationships that you're constantly seeing, and then all of a sudden you don't see them. I'm like, I want to know what happened now. You told me everything, what time you're sleeping, what time you're waking up, what time you're eating, what time you're going.
And it's natural for people to be curious.
And I'm like,
even I get curious कि अच्छा, oh, अच्छा.
Like पूरा relationship तो हमें दिखा दिया, तो अब जब खत्म हो तो वो नहीं दिखाया. Like, you know what I mean? Like people get, obviously I get the curiosity, like, but I guess like you create the need for that curiosity.
Because you end up feeling like you know those people, so then you want to know what went wrong, right? Like if, for example, if there's something in my life, you know me, if you feel like, oh, something's wrong, तुमसे पूछोगी ना.
No, मैं तो तुम्हें for like मेरा तुम्हारी different चीज, मैं तो
social relation. हाँ, but अगर आप social media पे भी एक couple को बहुत ज़्यादा देखते हो, या लोगों को बहुत ज़्यादा, जब हमसे लोग आके मिलते हैं, fans, they all react to us like they know us.
Of course.
You know, because they have seen us on screen and they feel like we are a part of their lives, they react to us like that. So even social media works the same way. If you see a couple a lot together, then you see them doing things together, you feel like you know them. You know, it gives you that illusion कि हम इनको जानते हैं. तो जब चीजें गलत भी होती हैं, तो भी आपको feel होता है कि यार क्या मतलब, उनके क्या हो गया उनके, you know, you feel like somebody near and dear that it happened to them, or somebody you knew very well. So then, of course, the curiosity does come along. It's not very healthy, though.
It's not healthy at all.
No, it's not.
It is not healthy at all. Okay, so before we go, we've had a really lovely chat about like marriage, and I'm really happy that you opened up about all of this. How have you evolved in the last, like, since you got married? Like, what are the changes you felt in yourself, and what, like, in your personality, and just the way?
I think
in your evolution.
In my evolution, मुझे लगता है कि I have realized that it should be easy. You know, I feel हमें भी ये एक बोला जाता है ना कि बड़ा कि marriage is difficult, compromises करने पड़ते हैं, लड़कियों को ये करना पड़ता है. But if it's good,
इसने हमारी generation मार दी है.
हाँ, if it's
compromise
good,
करना है.
it shouldn't be difficult.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be difficult. It should be. I'm not saying it's like a bed of roses either. You have your ups and downs, but ऐसा नहीं है. My work is difficult, but my my home life is my sanctuary. That's where I, for the most part, of course, there are moments when you have an argument and then aap soch rahe hote ho, acha, how to solve this, and it gets, you go through that period, but it's a short period.
Yeah.
And for like the maximum of the time, your home is somewhere that you go to relax from the stress of life. So I think that realization has really helped me change, because now I don't try that hard. I don't work as hard in my marriage or in my relationships. I'm like, I let them flow and make their space, rather than being like, oh, I need to do this, I need to do this. I'm like, no, it's two people, we get along, and yeah, it's not that tough.
It's amazing.
Allah ka shukar.
Shukar, alhamdulillah. I hope like, that you spend the rest of your life feeling like this.
I hope so.
And probably even better.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, keep getting better and better and better. And work-wise, I know that a lot has been going on, and like I don't even think we have the time to touch upon it right now.
Yeah, we don't have the time.
But I do wish you all the best. I hope 2023 is absolutely wonderful for you.
Inshallah.
And you grow, and like, I get to see you more often. Come to Lahore. Aa jao Lahore. I was on Jibran ke saath aana. We'll hang.
Jibran might be coming even in Lahore to Lahore. So
Perfect.
maybe.
Perfect, done. And I'll see you then.
All right.
Okay, and I hope you guys enjoyed the segment. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you can be part of the Momina's Mixed Plate family. And I'll see you next time. Take care.